have the vent line going from the fuel rail that goes back to the top of the tank. I have that blocked off with a vice grip. And what I'm going to try right now is I'm going to try to relieve that and see if any of this air that's in the system moves back through that line back up into the top of the tank. So here we go. Don't see much effect, but I've got this clamped pretty well. I'm not sure there's any air getting through it. Okay, should be now. So I don't see any effect. Okay, not sure I really expected any. Yeah. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cycle on and off my fuel pump and see what happens. So on and off. I can see it pushing all kinds of air through the system. Oh yeah. I don't think the pump is really liking it. Now it's on continuously. You can see the bubbles running through it. I can see fuel coming back through the overflow. So I've still got areas in here where there seems to be air blocked, but it still constantly seems to be forcing. If you look at this line right here, this is the return line going back, and you can see the bubbles are getting forced out of the system. So I'll let it run for a while. Of course, while the engine's running, the mechanical fuel pump will be doing this. I probably won't have this electric fuel pump going. I may do it, certainly do it when after I put fuel in it the very first time to get as much air out of the system as I can. Still getting bubbles that are coming back out of the off the fuel rail, back into the system. They're starting to slow down, but I'm getting them. But I bet if I play games here, I can make I can probably get most of the air out of the system if I manually kind of work them through, which tells me, gee, I probably should have the fuel system not have any low spots in it. It's kind of obvious, isn't it? Well, here we go, working some bubbles through. So I don't think those would ever work through. I think those bubbles are going to be in the fuel system, no matter, forever. I don't think you'll ever get them out of it. But the majority of them get pumped through. Now the pump's cavitating because it's having a hard time pumping the air. But as I'm flying, probably a lot of this air would work its way through the system and not cause any harm. And eventually all the air would get out of it. So I'm flying as I'm going up and down. Yeah, you can see right in here, it's that rattling, I think, is the check valve. Let me do this last little section. Looks like I really need to make sure that wherever I route these lines that I don't have any up and downs in them, or that's definitely going to be where error is going to get trapped. But with the fuel pump on, and any air that gets up to the fuel rail is going to be pumped out that return line, so that should cause minimum issues when it does eventually free up. I'm not sure what would happen in the carburetor when the air gets in there. I'm not sure exactly. I'm not an engine guy, so I don't know what that's going to do. It's going to be interesting here. I've got the fuel pressure gauge hooked up. I can get an idea how much fuel pressure this electric pump is providing. It's one of the low pressure, 4.5 psi pumps, which I think that's about the maximum that you can put on a Rotex engine. Still seeing bubbles being pumped up off the fuel rail, little at a time.